The day is officially here. What an exciting time to be in crypto as we got the first ever government strategic reserve bill signed yesterday by President Donald Trump. And for some reason, people are bearish. We're going to tell you exactly why you should not be bearish. And in fact, you should be the complete opposite. Whatever the opposite end of completely bearish is, that is what you need to be, because things are about to get absolutely nuts in the next 6 to 12 months. We have that all breaking down for you. Also, the first ever White House Crypto Summit is actually going on right now. I looked for a live stream, but I believe it's a closed door meeting, but we'll be keeping you up to date with updates that are coming out from the first ever White House Crypto Summit. Also, Layer 1 is positioning itself to be the #1 go-to blockchain to launch a Layer 1 and to transact on. Which one is it and what does that mean for price moving forward? We'll talk about that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content, where we take all that old, boring, and stale information you get at other mundane channels that just simply repeat the headline news. We give you fresh perspective, entertaining focus, and tell you how we're making money. And if you got any kind of common sense here, you'll join us on the money-making machine process that we got going on here. The wheels are lubricated or gears.
Don't make us report you. Don't make us report you to that one X account. You see the I Find Retards account on X?
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah, it's like the fastest growing X handle. Don't make us report you to them. We will.
Well,
what an exciting day, man.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a historical day, and for some reason, people still find a reason to complain about it. I don't understand. We literally have a sitting president that signed an executive order to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve, and the only thing people focused on was, well, they're not buying any. That is not true.
This is the exact same vibe I had. I mean, the exact same vibe I had when the ETF went live for Bitcoin. What was the date that Bitcoin's January 10th? And so if you go back, it's not going to be on the 1 year. What was the price of Bitcoin January 10th and 11th, 12th? I think we were around, I remember Bitcoin was at about 45,000. And then, yeah, there we go. Yeah, let's see what was the price. And I think, yeah, better trading view.
So Bitcoin's price closed at 46,681.
Yeah, then you had that spill off, right? For the next, those are day candles, right?
Day candles, yeah.
Yeah, so
we didn't reverse until the 20th, so about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Wow. 2 weeks of absolute disappointment when it came to the ETF. We were sitting here, we were saying like, hey, the ETF was supposed to be this great launch. We were supposed to see Bitcoin go to 100K. We're supposed to. No. But don't you remember?
Right when it went live?
Yeah. Remember Rand? Rand came out the day after and was like, guys, what a failure.
Who did?
Rand did, from Banter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why are you putting Rand on blast?
I mean, he said it. I'm just saying that, like, he said it was like, what a failure. Now he also did say, like, but guy, he kind of joked about it at the same time. But there was a ton of people that were out there just beating this drum that what a disappointing launch. And then in hindsight, we kind of realized it was downward sell pressure from Grayscale. And you know what? Also, people were they felt like they overbought it prior. It ran up to 46. Doesn't matter. The thing is that the news came out, the price sold off, and happened to be only 2 weeks, and then we were straight off to the moon, right? Theoretically. We went from 41,000 all the way up to 100K in about a year. And immediately afterwards, I'm not even talking about like a year later, immediately afterwards, over the course of 2 months, we had shot up to 60 something thousand. And so you had a 50% run up. So let's just take that into perspective. If we can get another 50% run up, say in 2 weeks, that puts Bitcoin at $135,000, a number that we've thrown out before. So the time window is shrinking here on getting a position on Bitcoin. I would just say this. I think that this might actually be March is, in my opinion, the last time you can buy Bitcoin under $100,000. And I think that what we'll see is a big move. I don't know if we'll quite move 50% because the government moves slowly. The ETF flows came in, nonstop. And so the United States has not said that they're going to be a buyer. But I will say this. What man is at the White House right now?
There's a bunch of men.
But what man, about as bullish as it goes, one of the largest holders of Bitcoin outside of Satoshi, it is none other than Michael Saylor. And so with Michael Saylor being in office, you give Michael Saylor 4 minutes and a webcam, and you'll leave 4 minutes in a webcam with Michael Saylor. And next thing you know, you're like, wonder how I take out a collateralized loan on my house and buy some Bitcoin. He's got 4 hours and a bunch of other crypto centric people, forward-thinking people, economists, people that lead different branches of government. And if you don't think that Saylor won't spark some interest on immediately buying Bitcoin, he had a couple different presentations. Maybe I'll pull them up here. I don't have them here right now, but he's had some presentations that he has had at some of his other keynote speeches throughout other conventions. And in there, he talks about governments and nation states buying Bitcoin and what it would look like to be a Bitcoin maxi as far as a government. And he went to double maxi, triple maxis, things that he labeled. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He also did this at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville. And so I'm just saying, dude, I think that if given the opportunity to speak, which why would he attend and not have an opportunity to speak? You give him 20, 30 minutes on the floor.
What's a triple maxi?
Man, you're going to make me look it up. So you got, is it triple maxi Saylor? Let's see what pops up here. Yeah, it's.
Oh, I saw that was a nice triple maxi up there, huh? All right, while he's doing that, I'll do this. Yesterday, history was made. Pay attention.
Today we're signing, this is very historic, an executive order establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve and digital asset stockpile. This is a promise that you made throughout the campaign, and today we're keeping that promise. The reserve will be capitalized with Bitcoin that the federal government already owns, so it won't cost taxpayers a dime. This is like a digital Fort Knox for digital gold. And premature sales of Bitcoin over the past years cost American taxpayers over $17 billion in lost value, because we didn't have a long-term strategy.
Right.
Now we do. So.
And this is something you believe in?
100%, yeah.
Okay.
And the whole community believes in it.
Very good. And they made the promise, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And today we're signing.
There you have it. There you have it. Now.
And I found it. All right, so here, check it out. All right, so you got Saylor here, and so this man
and put 80% of your earnings into Bitcoin.
This man is currently
you can
at the White House, and so I'm sure he's probably giving some kind of similar presentation here. This one's only about a minute long.
10%er, and you can put 10% of your assets into Bitcoin. You can be a BTC maxi and put 80% of your assets and put 80% of your earnings into Bitcoin. You could be a double maxi, and that's when you basically take an extra $250,000 loan against the house. And then the triple maxi is you finance the house for Bitcoin, you buy Bitcoin, you flip all your assets to Bitcoin, and then you move to a cheap tax jurisdiction where you actually can avoid some taxes and invest an extra 50 grand in Bitcoin, maybe a Singapore or UAE or something. What's the result? Well, this is the result. The normie ends up with $8 million in 21 years. The 10%er will more than double.
Same breakdown for this. He was talking about individuals. He did the same breakdown for companies and strategic reserves, strategic reserves for companies. And then he went into talking about nation states. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see something very similar where he's like, hey, look, buy this amount of Bitcoin over the course of, I don't know, 10, 20 years, 5 years. This is going to be your expected returns. If he's doing anything like that, you know what?
You think he shows up? You think he shows up with a Bitcoin white paper and says, "Do you have a moment to speak about our financial Lord and Savior, Bitcoin?"
Perhaps.
I see a lot of comments about where's the stream? Why aren't we seeing it? There is no live stream. It is a closed door meeting. It is currently
But
ongoing.
there is information coming out as we speak, and so we are still not. We're not covering it as far as
Well, there's nowhere to cover it.
there's no cover. There's no cameras inside the room. But there are lots of moles in there with cell phones, and they're like, "Did you hear what Taylor just?" And then so there's
Sergey just
leaks.
took his shirt off. He's got a really hairy chest.
Yeah, you know, Vitalik.
Vitalik, did he show up in a unicorn outfit again?
So
Why did he bring his big pipe?
yeah, so we're really excited about today. There's a lot going on. So not only, I mean, think about this. You have the announcement of strategic reserve. Also, you got pretty much the U.S. saying they're not going to sell any of the
Not the
Bitcoin they
announcement,
currently
Robin,
have.
the actual signing.
Yeah, and the executive order. I mean, it's about as bullish as it gets. And Bitcoin's price has, for some weird reason, and we've seen this time and time again. It's not anything that's like, we're not questioning the integrity of Bitcoin here. Just the markets get excited about things like this, and then it sells off. I think it's just a lot of people putting in long positions that are inexperienced, and then smart money taking advantage of them and basically just liquidating people, right? I think that's more or less what we see, right? You get people that aren't experienced, people that get euphoria, and they're like, "Oh my God, the U.S. they signed in a executive order, strategic reserve is here. Bitcoin's going to go to what 120,000. We put in a long order, and then smart money's like, got your ass." And so they put in short. They put in a short squeeze, right? And so
Long squeeze.
long squeeze, yeah.
Speaking of long squeezes,
What's up?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I wanted to segue, but it wasn't going.
Yeah,
anywhere.
well,
It
you
wasn't
know,
going anywhere productive. Someone made a comment on one of our YouTube videos and said you have really good analogies.
Me?
Which I agree. You do have really good. Probably your best trait as a human being.
And my best trait, a lot of people say it's my hair. It's
Sure, yeah.
so.
Your hair for sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, all right. Everyone panicked. Now, I was live on the PM stream, which is why you shouldn't miss those streams. And we watched Bitcoin drop, right? It dropped. We're trying to figure out where is this thing going to land. And if we go out to the 1 hour, this was yesterday, okay? Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific, which is right when I was going live. And so what we saw happen yesterday was Bitcoin running up previously to that 91.3 level. This was the markets baking in the potential of the strategic reserve happening and announcement of them buying Bitcoin. When the strategic reserve was announced and signed, and they simply said, we're taking the Bitcoin we already have and we're putting it into the stockpile, the market sold off. And so the price rebalanced to what traders believed was a fair value for the price of Bitcoin without buying Bitcoin. And it came in at $85,000. 85.5 is that where we closed. And so now the markets are, that news that everyone was anticipating, that price action and buying and selling, that is quelled down. And now what you're going to start seeing is you're going to start seeing people anticipate and try to front run. Well, what other countries? Are other countries going to hop in? And I got the full breakdown. I'm going to go over to you as well. But I do want to share this was from David Sachs. He was on Bloomberg. Someone else was on Bloomberg. Not going to say the name. All right, let's take a listen.
Remind the American public and investors why you need a Bitcoin reserve at all.
Well, good to be here. I mean, the reason why we need a Bitcoin reserve is that the federal government already owns some. In fact, it obtained around 400,000 Bitcoin over the past decade through criminal and civil forfeitures and seizures. And so the government has to have a strategy for how it deals with this. In the past, the strategy has been simply to sell it, in an ad hoc way, almost willy-nilly. And that cost American taxpayers something like $17 billion in lost value. So we want to have a long-term strategy to maximize the value of these holdings. And we've decided that Bitcoin is scarce, it's valuable. and that is strategic for the United States to hold on to this as a long-term reserve asset. So that's the plan with the 200,000 Bitcoin that we believe are in the possession of the federal government. I say we believe because no one really knows for sure because we never had a proper audit. So that's one of the first things that this executive order provides, that we're going to do a full government-wide audit to find out what digital assets we actually have so they can be safeguarded and moved into a strategy that maximizes their long-term value.
Now, again, everyone panicked. They said, oh my God, what are we doing? No one's buying it. But, listen to this. It's from Eleanor Tourette. Donald Trump's executive order calls for two separate things, a strategic reserve and a stockpile. The strategic reserve will contain only Bitcoin, using the 200,000 or so tokens already in the government's possession that has been seized over the years through criminal and civil forfeiture. David Sachs says Scott Bessent and Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of Commerce, respectively, have also been given authorization to explore means of acquiring more Bitcoin through avenues that will not cost the taxpayer. Because when you want to use taxpayer money, you have to go through Congress. The House has the power of the purse, okay? So, budget neutral ways that we can find money to buy Bitcoin. I think people just completely overlook that, right? I don't know if everyone was expecting them to come out and say, we're going to buy 5,000 Bitcoin this Friday, but you have to, again, go through Congress to get the money to do that. So instead, what it sounds like you're doing is, look, find places that the money's already been allocated and that we can reallocate to buying Bitcoin. That is what's going to be happening. It also, again, as Mr. Sachs mentioned, mandating a full audit of said government possessions. Now, here is Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on the Bitcoin reserve and what he had to say.
Okay, Bitcoin, the reserve. Supposedly there is disappointment that we're not going to be buying Bitcoin outright using taxpayer dollars. But if we can do it in a revenue neutral way, we would. Number one, were you a proponent for the reserve? And two, is there a way to buy Bitcoin, not just acquire it through, I don't know, however we've gotten these $17 billion worth at this point?
Yeah, so Joe, I am a big proponent of the U.S. taking the worldwide lead in crypto. I think we have to bring it onshore and use our best.
Just to put it in perspective, this is one of the most powerful men in the world, the Treasury Secretary, saying that he believes the U.S. should be the leading power in cryptocurrency.
Best practices and regulation. I think that the Bitcoin reserve, before you can accumulate it, you have to stop selling it. So what we have now is from a seized asset pool, and I wasn't there when it happened, but I believe what happened was about 500 million of Bitcoin was seized, half of it was sold, and what we have now that, say it's over 10 billion, 10, 12 billion, that's all through appreciation. So the first thing to do is to stop the selling. So we are going to, after the victims are paid and all of that, any seized assets will go into this reserve, and then we'll see what the way forward is for more acquisitions for the reserves. And we're starting with Bitcoin, but it's an overall crypto reserve.
Right. So how do you think about buying, though? And how should taxpayers think about that? Because effectively we'll be levering ourselves to some degree, given that we don't have a surplus of money right now to make these investments.
We got plenty of money.
So that's why the first step is to stop selling, and then we're going to put a plan in place from there. So we're having this crypto summit. I'm going back to Washington this afternoon, and then we'll talk about the way forward.
Thoughts?
I mean, you got to look no further than Germany last year. And so Germany had their own stockpile of Bitcoin. They had roughly 50,000 Bitcoin, and they sold it for $2.8 billion. It's a lot of money, right? They sold it at around $57,000. And so they've lost about $2 billion so far, right? If they would have just simply not sold it from June of last year. So it hasn't even been 12 months. And so in the span of 9 months, they've lost out on potentially $2 billion. And so if you think about like how much money has been lost in 9 months, how much money do you think they would have lost in 9 years? I mean, obviously we know that Bitcoin's going to keep accruing value over time. And so I think that's kind of the mentality that you have here in the creation of the strategic Bitcoin reserve. And once again, I want to circle back around here. Okay. Last year, 2024, ETF went live. Bitcoin's price, $46,000. The ETF shortly thereafter, 2 weeks later, ripped up 50%. You had 2 week window. Even though people were freaking out, ETF launched, Bitcoin is selling off. Why? What a joke. Everyone expected the ETF to. We're in the same spot, man. We're in the same damn spot. If you don't have a position on Bitcoin, and you know what happens if Bitcoin's going to run to 130, what on earth do you think is going to happen to the altcoins? Do you legitimately think that Bitcoin will move from 80 to 120 or $130,000 without altcoins just exploding? And anything in that strategic stockpile? I mean, how are we dismissing strategic stockpile like it's insignificant? Right now, at this moment, it doesn't seem like there's any, Arkham Intelligence that came out and said they couldn't spot any cryptos that the United States has through forfeiture. So it doesn't seem like there's going to be anything similar to Bitcoin where they're like, hey, we got a bunch of XRP just sitting here. We got a bunch of Cardano sitting like that. No, but they've created the stockpile. And so what are you going to do with a stockpile that doesn't have any stock? You're going to buy some, right? And so that's around the corner. You got to create the fund before you can put the direct deposit into your checking account. You have to open the checking account, right? Before you go and create before you go and put money away in your 401k, you got to set up your 401k. Before I don't know. This is just very,
you take
very
your Tesla
basic.
for a ride, you gotta charge the battery. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all like I don't know. It's just it's there's a tsunami coming. The tide is washed out. People are standing at the shoreline like, well, I guess it's low tide. We're like, no. The water's 25 feet away from you in the span of 5 minutes. Like, run. Like, that's what's happening here.
Run, baby, run.
So anyways, what I'm doing here is I know Bitcoin is gonna explode. If you're looking for a position on Bitcoin, what a great time to buy. I genuinely don't know how low it'll drop over the next 2 weeks. I think you're gonna see something very similar to the ETF release, where perhaps we get disappointed movement on Bitcoin. Maybe it's 4 days, maybe it's 14 days. I don't know. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but it ain't gonna last long. I think this is the last month ever. This is the last opportunity ever to get Bitcoin under 100 grand. And so if you're looking to accumulate Bitcoin, you're doing anything other than just straight DCA, and you're just like, you know what? I need to get time is now, man. And then also the same as holds true for altcoins, right? And I just simply look at what has performed well in this last altcoin push, right? Our last altcoin push was beginning of January, right? And so that's where we saw XRP. XRP started a little earlier, but anyways, we saw XRP go from 50 cents up to $3. We saw Cardano go from 30 something cents up to $1.10. We saw Solana go from, and this was earlier, but these movers are going to keep moving, right? Because they're the leaders in the space. Who else is doing money remittance, working with banks, facilitating money within governments? XRP. So it's an obvious winner. And we've seen continuous meeting after meeting with Brad Garlinghouse and other members of Congress and executive branch members. Brad Garlinghouse was in a photo op yesterday for a Bitcoin and crypto meeting. Did you see that one yesterday? No. Okay. So anyways, he was there in Washington, D.C. I don't know where he was. I don't know if it was the White House or it was Congress. But anyways, he was in Washington, D.C. in a photo op with multiple leaders in government. And so I don't want to speak out of context here and get anything wrong. But anyways, he was there. And so obviously he's working. You got Charles Hoskinson with a direct line of communication with the president. You have Solana which the president has launched now 3 meme coins on the Solana network, NFTs on the Solana network. He has a DeFi protocol on Sui. And so these projects that have ran in the past, they're going to run again. These are the ones that are going to explode. The ones that I don't know are the ones that didn't move this year at all, period.
Polkadot's definitely not going to move.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I mean, I think you just got easy winners here. And so you're just, it's easy to make money in crypto, man. It's legitimately easy. All you got to do is just buy when it's oversold, hold it for a little bit of time. When I say a little bit of time, like 8 months. Just chill.
I want to give away some money.
What?
We got 667 people watching. We can get up to 300 likes. I'll give away $100 to 2 people. So $200. Okay?
Let's do this. I want to get this chat to explode. Let's give away $100 2 ways. Get to $300, or 300 likes, we'll give away $100.
Okay.
Also, let's do a 1 and 2. I want to know this way because I'll just be frank and straightforward with you. The more stuff we got going on in our chat, the more people are typing, the more YouTube tends to promote us, right? They say, hey, look, that community over there they're vibing. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. So let's just do this. We're gonna do a quick questionnaire. We're gonna pick one person that responds. We'll give you $100. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that this is the last month that Bitcoin will ever be under 100 grand. I want to know if I'm loony here or if you agree with me.
You're definitely loony, but
so if this is the last time, at some point in time this month, Bitcoin will cross 100 grand and never return. It'll always be a 6 figures. Or put a 2 in the chat if, you drinking that Kool-Aid, bro? Chill out. Like, a little too bullish here. I'm curious to see where you guys land on this. 1 for price breakout over 100K, never return. 2, if at some point in time after this month, we do still see 5-figure.
And the one thing I will say, the last time we did a drawing, the person who won did not stick to the end of the show to win. So we gave her money away, Oriana. And so let's get to 300 likes. We're only 80 away. We're only like 84, 86 away. We'll give you $100 there at the end of the show. So
at the end of the show, yeah.
So make sure you stay.
That is a good point. The last person that won $100, we called their name out at the end, and they weren't around anymore. They left.
And if we can get to 400 likes, I'll give away another $100. I'm giving away money today. So we can be giving away $300 by the time the show's over. So it's going to be all up to you guys. All right. Also, big shout out to Stan, who said, gave a $10 super chat, said, are American projects ready for prime time? And why aren't they running to the White House with their white papers? Realistically, I would say there's maybe a handful of projects right now that could even begin to entertain the idea of being ready for prime time from a fundamental standpoint and actually doing what the governments or people would need. I would say maybe Solana, but it would need Fire Dancer. I would say probably Cardano if they can get at those Hydra heads spun up, right? They got to 1 billion transactions through Hydra. I think Avalanche is one of them with their 9,000 upgrade. And like what other ones? Sui, maybe? Do they even have the infrastructure? And so there's a few ones. And so I hope that kind of helped answer your question there, my friend. Thank you for your super chat. Now, we'll get back to the strategic reserve. Let's talk about the crypto summit and what that could potentially mean. Now, we do have a confirmed updated list. Of course, you have some people from the government, Representative Brian Steele, GOP Majority Whip Tom Emmer, but the crypto ones, Brad Garlinghouse, you have Falcon X Network, which is a custodial network. You also have CEO Chris Marsazlik of Crypto.com, Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss of Gemini. Robinhood's going to be there. Kraken, obviously MicroStrategy with Michael Saylor, Coinbase. You also have Sergey Nazarov of Chainlink, Zach Witkoff of World Liberty Finance. Shocker that he got invited. And then there was another one. Oh, and then you had this as well. This is the founder of Avalanche saying, time to find my suit and see if I still fit into it. This was yesterday. Is it a coincidence that a suit wearing event is here? And
you are in the highest office, sir. Do you not own a suit?
All right. Here is Sergey Nazarov. There's a lot of speculation of what kind of announcement are we going to see. Is it going to be no cap gains tax? Is it going to be, what are we going to get? Here is Sergey Nazarov, one of the invitees, the attendees at the White House Crypto Summit, this morning talking about what he expects at the crypto summit. This is on Fox News.
The White House is set to hold the first ever cryptocurrency summit today, marking an historic moment in U.S. policy on digital assets.
As part of our effort, I've signed executive orders to keep the United States at the forefront of artificial intelligence and to end Joe Biden's at the forefront
Of Chainlink and joins us now. Sergey, good morning to you. Thanks for hopping on with us. Okay, so before we get into everything that's happening today, for somebody watching at home who doesn't know anything about cryptocurrency aside from the fact that it exists, can you explain it to them and why they should or shouldn't get involved in this?
Sure. So crypto is the next version of the internet. So many years ago, 30, 40 years ago, everything was on paper. And then everything went from being on paper to being online. On chains, and bits, like 9 about the now. Email. Things through it. And when you own things there, you control them.
Okay,
so
digital currency.
One of the big benefits is control.
Yeah. Okay, so Sergey, that brings us to what's happening today at the White House. It's historic because it's the first ever cryptocurrency summit. President Trump is having it at the White House. You'll be there. So explain what you expect to happen today and why this is so important.
I think this administration's focus is on America being a leader in every market that it's in. And likewise, I expect this summit to cover that topic as the primary topic. There's a few bills out right now in D.C. where I am, and there's other initiatives like the crypto reserve coming from the executive branch, so from the president's office. I expect both of those topics to be discussed. But holistically, the point of the summit, I think, is to figure out how does the U.S. acquire a leadership position globally in this new trend. The U.S. had a leadership position at the beginning of the internet. It was many years ahead of other economies, other parts of the world. And being ahead in the internet gave the U.S. A big advantage because many of the applications, technologies, companies that grew out of the internet then started to define the U.S. economy and the global economy because indeed the internet was a better way of doing things than doing them on paper.
Understood.
The blockchain industry and chains and cryptocurrencies are a similar.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Okay. Why do you think Sergey Nazarov was one of the few that was invited? Like, I can point to Brad Garling, and this is no shot at Brad Garlinghouse or Ripple. I can point to Brad Garlinghouse getting invited as part of, hey, there's a personal relationship there. He donated to Donald Trump's inauguration fund. He also, they've had dinner before, but from what I've read and seen, that has not happened with someone like Sergey Nazarov. And you really don't have any other cryptocurrency project founders that were invited. It was CEOs of exchanges, government officials. Why Chainlink? And the first thing that comes to my mind is Chainlink is the only company that is directly working with the two largest payment systems in the world, SWIFT and the DTCC, which does quadrillions of transactions every single year, right? Quadrillions. And so I look at this and saying, okay, this guy was invited. Now, of course, being invited to this thing is an absolute honor. I'm not taking anything away, but I want to focus specifically on Chainlink for a project that is already hand in hand working with the largest payment network in the world, SWIFT, the largest clearinghouse that does the most amount of payments, period, the DTCC, the infrastructure they have in place. Chainlink to me is an obvious buy. When you look at where the price of Chainlink is and the market cap it currently holds, Chainlink is sitting at $16.66 with a market cap of $10.5 billion. Is it harsh to say it will be kind of stupid to not have Chainlink in your portfolio?
I think, yeah, of course. Chainlink has a connection to everything, right? And I think that's more or less why I think they have a presence there. Well, outside of ICP and Bitcoin, Oracle service provided by Chainlink is pretty much the go-to for all layer one smart contracts. So list a layer one smart contract, Chainlink is there. And so if you're trying to get someone that understands the entirety of crypto, can speak on the behalf of crypto, layer one, smart contracts, DeFi, everything that crypto does well. I mean, is there anybody that runs an organization that isn't as plugged in as Chainlink for the crypto? And I'm not discounting what you're saying with Swift. That makes a lot of sense. 100%. Yes. Check that box. But when it comes to who understands crypto from top to bottom, what organization physically has partnerships or has actual partnerships with every single crypto? 95% of the major cryptos. It's Chainlink. And so if you're going to have someone speak about like, hey, we're going to do a stockpile for layer ones, but we don't really know how to classify them, pretty sure Sergey can just step up and be like, oh, I got this, bro. What do you want to know? And so I think he's probably the most educated person when it comes to all cryptos, right? Now you got the exchange leaders in there. That makes sense, right? They're the custodial providers. They're the brokers. And so that makes sense. Now, I did want to give a little love to the chat. You know, a lot of people put ones and twos. We got a long list of people to pick from.
So we're already at $200 in giveaways. We hit the 300. That's $100. We got the ones and twos. That's another 100. If we can get another 100 likes, there's 800 people in here.
Yeah.
If we get another 100 likes, we'll give away another $100. So that's $300 total. And we'll do it at the end of the show. So make sure you stick around.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Also, a lot of new people. I couldn't even get everybody down. But we got Opa. We also got Dan R, The Hound, Luis, Crypto Alpha, Lucky Luke, Joe, Fire Up, Crypto Alpha, I Gotcha, Rockpile, B1, G Daddy, Matty W, LOPC, Jeff. Then we got Vaughn, Roy Boy, Freedom Rocks, D Dance, Bull Tide, Vincent, D Jack, IB, Gig'em, BTC Man, David Cross. We got Andrew Burton, Red Elephant. Also, we got Eric P. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Put something in the chat. Love to give you some recognition, a little shout out. We see, got a lot of new people in here as well. How can I forget Mr. Bulgarian as well? So, I almost forgot you, bro.
I dated a Bulgarian once.
Yeah?
Amazing.
Yeah, look at all these new people.
Beautiful.
Got Alberto, TY,
some of the best women I've seen.
Bull Tide,
yeah.
Jack Beats.
Okay, so can we assume then that Chainlink will be part of this digital asset stockpile?
That stockpile, absolutely.
Okay.
100%. And the fact that they are working with Swift, I think is a no-brainer there. But as far as a representation at the meeting, I think the credentials of the fact that they work with everyone just is the shoe-in for that, right? It's he's the middleman for everyone, right? Right? He's the middleman. He takes tokens and he connects it to DeFi. He's the middleman.
So here's one thing from a more technical perspective, that because news and narrative, right? Sure, it can move the market. People will speculate, but what is truly going to move the market from you putting in $5,000 into a project and turning it into $500,000 is not just speculation alone. It's going to be actual use case and utility. So when you look at a project like Chainlink, where does that use case and utility come in? Through their CCIP protocol, the Chainlink token will be used as the universal gas token. So no matter what blockchain A is going to blockchain B, if it's ETH going to SWI, ETH is used on the front end. It goes into the CCIP protocol. That ETH gets converted into Chainlink, meaning ETH is sold, Chainlink is bought. That is used to make the transaction go through. And on the other end, the transaction goes through in the SWI native token. So from a utility standpoint, there's going to be tons of buying pressure as, again, money flows in through CCIP and that currency gets converted into Chainlink to be used for a universal gas fee. Add on top of what we spoke about with speculation, people speculating, and now throw in the fact that maybe, just maybe, Chainlink is identified as a S-tier infrastructure. This is absolutely necessary. We believe this is going to be the cornerstone of bridging Web 2 over to Web 3 and payments and everything else. And the U.S. government sees that as an opportunity to buy some. And Chainlink, when you look at the tokenomics, the max supply of Chainlink the total supply is 1 billion. That's it. 1 billion tokens is the max supply of Chainlink. And currently it's got a 64% of that circulating. And so you don't have, it's not a 100 billion tokens or 1 trillion, 1 billion tokens. That's it. And you're talking about a project that is sitting at $10.6 billion that we believe the cryptocurrency space will grow to $10 trillion plus in this market cycle. If everything goes as planned and if everything that we believe is going to happen will actually happen, is a 3% market share for the connector of all things crypto and Web 2? Is a 3% market share crazy?
It just hasn't moved much lately either. It hasn't had that explosive move. And so I think that it being in a strategic stockpile and like I said, you're not going to create a stockpile and not stock it up, right? You're not going to build a pantry and not put stuff in the pantry. You're not going to, and so if Chainlink is in there, it's a no-brainer. It's one that has not moved. You look at all the things that Donald Trump had mentioned before when he was talking about the U.S. having a reserve with cryptos. He mentioned ETH. Well, ETH hasn't moved much, so put that in the category. But outside of that, you got Solana, Cardano, XRP. These have all exploded, right? They've all had big upside moves this bull market cycle. Well, you have not seen the giant big upside move from Chainlink. And so if you put Chainlink into that box, I also think Avalanche, I know you alluded to the founder of Avalanche putting on his suit, quote unquote, day before the White House meeting. What is that in reference to? We can assume he's going to have some kind of attendance at Congress or in the White House, or maybe he's at the meeting, or maybe he's just meeting with some other people while they're down there. You also got to think, even if you're not at the White House meeting, all the important people in crypto right now are in Washington, D.C., right? And so even if you're not in that room, you can go to a dinner, an after hour, an after party. You can go to some event. You can just meet up with lots of heads of companies, CEOs of different cryptos out there as well. And so that might be an opportunity as well.
For some of you wondering what the math is, I said 3%, 10 trillion. You're looking at per link token, $461. That's the potential. If dominance gets to 3%.
I haven't shielded in a while.
Yeah, Avalanche right now.
No. I haven't shielded our own product.
Oh.
I got 800 people. We do got a memberships here. We've stagnated on our whale memberships. We got a pretty cool animation. So if you want to support the channel, if you like what we're doing, we do have a whale membership. Be part of the club, part of the community, and join the whale membership. Also, you are not eligible to win anything if you're not subscribed, by the way. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, we're going to give away potentially $300. Right now we're at $200. But if we get to 400 likes here on the show, we'll give away another $100 at the end of the show. So make sure you hang out till then. Also, we did have some new people: Arasani, Cynthia, Eric, Vilas, Frozen Explosion, Papa Mango, Frank L, Mateus, Batiste Mendo, Paul, Crypto Gab, Joan, Rennie, and Meg. To all of you, hola! Welcome.
All right, let's go back to the strategic reserve. And by the way, for those of you wondering, the Crypto Summit is a closed door meeting, meaning there are no cameras, there's no live feed, there's no live stream. It's going to go on until until around 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. And I believe Donald Trump will be speaking at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And so he'll be giving his thoughts there. But as of right now, there's no live stream. That's why you're not seeing it broadcasted here on this channel. But we are giving you insight into what happened yesterday and what we believe is going to happen at the summit. Let's go back to the strategic reserve. I think one narrative people are not discussing is, what are other countries going to do, Robin? What is this signal to China? What is this signal to Russia, to Japan, to Argentina, to Brazil, to every other top 25 economy in the world, that the United States of America has officially created the first ever Bitcoin reserve? This article highlight here reads, will China follow U.S. lead with Bitcoin reserve? China is working hard to create its own strategic reserve. This information was provided by David Bailey, which is the CEO of Bitcoin Magazine. And then CNBC reports that China and Middle Eastern countries are exploring potential Bitcoin buying strategies. So don't let it be lost upon you. This was just the very first step. And if you look at how Bitcoin has reacted from a price perspective, the markets are vastly mispricing this absolutely bullish news. And if the markets are mispricing it, that means there's an opportunity.
Can you compare that right there to the ETF launch? I just have a suspicion it's going to be a very similar pattern. Back in, you said it was January 14th or 10th. And so I have a suspicion there. Also, I see Gary Cardone up in the chat. So a friend of the channel. Thanks for, he said, send him the $400 directly. He wins. And so,
Gary, huh?
Yeah. What's up, Gary?
Well, at least we know what Gary will do with the money. He'll just buy more Bitcoin.
And he will.
I mean, we can compare it. Here's the thing, though. Like, I'm like, why is it taking me forever? That was on the hour. So this is on the daily. And again, January 10th of 2024 is right here. Okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I have this. It just feels the same, man. The ETF went live. Bitcoin sold off immediately afterwards. Everyone was boo-hooing about the price of Bitcoin and its movement. And yet this is almost the same play-by-play. Here we go. The U.S. strategic stockpile should be mega ultra bullish, like super big news, whatever adjectives you want to throw on there. It should be huge, right? Y'all should be excited, but yet the markets are selling off. It's the same vibe or feeling I got from the ETF. And we know what happened shortly thereafter. The ETF went live. We went from 40 to 65,000, more than a 50% run up there. And so I think that if we find ourselves in a similar situation, if we were to see a comparable return on investment, I genuinely think this pushes up to that 110, 115,000, man. I genuinely do. And I just off a historical metric. I mean, what bigger news has happened for Bitcoin since the ETF? Well, it's the U.S. being a net buyer of Bitcoin or stockpiling what they have. And soon we know that legislation will be passed for the U.S. to come in and buy. So I don't know. I'm just I genuinely think this is the last month you're going to see the Bitcoin under 100K. And I think the big price rally is coming. So
there's really, like I was looking, there's really no comparison to the drop we've had this time around versus back in January of last year with the ETF. Is a lot larger as far as the price drop. But again, I think the market's overreacted. And we're seeing Bitcoin's price just get back to what the fair value at the current market sentiment is, which is $85,000 to $88,000. And I think the markets are grossly undervaluing this news. And so what you're going to start seeing now is you're going to start seeing headlines. You're going to start seeing articles. You're going to start seeing rumors. This country now is going to create a strategic reserve. And let me tell you something. Here in the United States, there's thousands of hoops to jump through to get to the end. You want a bill to pass, it's got to go to committees. Then they got to write them up. Then they got to mock them down. Then they got to send it to the House. And the House sends it back to the committees. Then they change it. Long, drawn-out process. Country like China, Xi Jinping says, you know what? We're going to buy 100,000 Bitcoin tomorrow.
Let me ask you,
You
David.
don't need no Congress.
David, let me ask you a question. Let's just say all this happens, right? Let's just say you get another big country stockpile or strategic reserve, whatever you want to call it. Just say we get another country. Let's say everything you just said happens, right? Over the next, say, 45 days, too. Let's just say it happens and it happens now, right? It happens quickly. What altcoins are you buying? Because we understand Bitcoin's price is going to, if that happens, we know Bitcoin's going to be, 120, 130, 140, 150,000, somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
Give or take. I don't know. Not sure. I'm not trying to nail a price prediction here, but this happens. Altcoins run. What stands out to you there? What can I make money on right now? Is there any alts that you spot out at this moment that are just grossly undervalued that you would expect with nation states fighting for cryptocurrencies and fighting for Bitcoin? Those are just a no-brainer pick right now.
Think about the ones that are working with governments, right? Which ones are working with governments? The first one that comes to my mind is XRP.
Okay.
And that's sitting at $143 billion.
You think it's got another 6X left in it?
If the crypto market cap
because
goes,
they went from 50 cents to $3. So do you think a 6x would put it up to about $15?
for me, it all depends on the overall market cap of crypto. Because if the market cap is 5 trillion, I don't think XRP can get to $1 trillion. I mean, maybe it can, but I just that's not an idea I'm willing to kind of, entertain, right? So I think about XRP. I think about something like Chainlink. I know we already talked about it. I think about something like Avalanche, who has already worked with governments. And you take a look at this piece of news. Look at this. A small town in India just made history. They moved all their land records to the blockchain. Okay, so long story short, the Avalanche blockchain. Every land record since the 1950s is now stored on Avalanche. It's permanent, tamper-proof, and open for all to verify. So what countries have been working with these blockchains? You also have other projects, right? Which one was a China coin? Was it Conflux?
I have no idea here.
It was Conflux, okay? Conflux, this was rightly labeled the China coin, okay? You have something like Neo, all right? Neo. This is also a big Asia coin. You have something like Jasmine from Japan. That's another one.
If China, let me ask you, if China buys, and I don't know much about geopolitical situation as far as between China and Japan, but if China removes their ban on Bitcoin and starts to create a strategic stockpile of Bitcoin or a reserve, do you think Japan follows suit? I mean,
yeah,
they're neighbors, right?
If all of a sudden, and by the way, for those of you that enjoy reading and are a little more technically savvy, Jason Lowery's book,
oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Soft War.
Yeah.
Read that book. I've read it twice now. It's very, very interesting. It's got a lot of technical jargon in it, but
it seems like what he has said in his book, in the early parts of his book, in the early chapters, what he mentioned there seems like it's actually happening.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's so interesting because it ends up being a weapon, right? And we weaponize economies all the time. We see the U.S. dropping sanctions all the time, and so if you don't have Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is theoretically a weapon, a big store of value. Majority of countries have a position on Bitcoin in some way. We understand if you don't have any, then you're not arming yourself, right? In the same way that if you don't have oil, you can you're vulnerable. If you can't produce certain commodities, you're vulnerable. You have to import everything, right? And so same can be said for Bitcoin there.
Yeah, and think about that, Robin. If all of a sudden you hear that, and I don't know, like nuclear warheads are already in place, but when one country started stockpiling nuclear warheads, what did the other countries start doing? Because it becomes a threat to their sovereignty.
That's a really good point.
If they see Bitcoin as if they see that one government holding X amount of Bitcoin is a threat to their economy, then you better believe that they're going to go out there and they're going to create their own stockpile. They're going to get their own reserve. And that is what we're going to start seeing happening, right? And so that is not priced in yet. That's the thing. That is not priced in on a Bitcoin level. That is not priced in on an altcoin level. We always talk about retail is broke. They have no money. Let me tell you something. We talk about 80 or 20% own 80% of the wealth. Those 20%, those are going to be the ones that are going to pump the price of Bitcoin up to 300K. And so if you're retail and you're watching, which I'm assuming almost every single one of you is retail, get in front of these institutions. Get in front of these governments. These opportunities do not come. We're in a free market. So you can go out and buy as much Bitcoin, as much Chainlink, as much XRP as you want.
You can only buy as much as cash as that you have.
What?
Because you can only buy with...
Correct, yes. Your financial means, whatever that is, that's the amount you can buy.
Because I want to buy more Bitcoin. I just can't afford it right now.
Yeah, these damn kids are expensive. And then...
we had a new senator to the community. I gotcha. He said...
I got you, bro.
He said, you got me?
We got you. We are just 7 likes away from giving an extra 100. We're already $200 in the hole. We're more than willing to give an extra $100 out, but we need 7 more likes. And also, before we send you the money, we will ask you to confirm that you are subscribed to the channel. So just go ahead and do that right now. And then I'm just checking for updates on the White House summit. Did you see anything on social media? Any updates coming out?
I've been checking. I haven't. Nothing's popped up yet, and so we do have some moles there.
Well, where are they?
But they haven't reported back yet.
Yeah, we'll definitely again get some more news as the day goes on. We know Trump's going to do a press conference. I'm sure that he will mention what was spoken about and talked about in this meeting.
Well, we do have one person, one professional that is very outspoken here. So let me take a look. We got Rachel Maddow.
I should say I'm by no means a crypto expert. I'm not going to give you a lecture on blockchain or meme coins or any of that. I don't know, and B, I don't care. But I do think it's worth looking at this crypto thing a little bit, only because it is a deeply old-fashioned, simple scam at this point, which points right to the White House. News from the White House tonight really gives us no choice. You have to look at it. Hopefully, the broad strokes of crypto trading are not complicated. It's like when there was the Beanie Baby craze in the late 90s. People started buying these stuffed animals, right? Beanie Babies, kind of inherently not worth much, but people were speculating on them, right? It was a Beanie Baby trading bubble. Other than maybe some emotional value if you had one as a child, Beanie Babies didn't have.
They lose out on the. I won't go down this rabbit hole. We all know the value of Bitcoin. We understand, but at the end of the day, the big difference between these quote unquote collectibles, and they've thrown a lot of these different collectibles out there. Tulips have always been kind of a thing. Beanie Babies.
Tulips?
Yeah, the tulip mania, And so the difference between things that are trending and whatever's popular this week, whether it's Tickle Me Elmo or PlayStation, you can always make more of them. You can always make more Beanie Babies. You can always, call up the factory, get some more chips, make more PlayStations. So at the end of the day, you can always fabricate more of these. With demand comes more supply, but with more demand in Bitcoin, there is no more supply, not any more than it's already being mined, which is only 450 Bitcoin a day. And we are now offloading, or people are coming in and buying tens of thousands of Bitcoin a day now at this point. So,
all right, we've hit our goals.
There you go.
420 likes. So
can we drop a nuke over here? Let's drop a nuke. Good shit.
Dale said, please tell me she did not just compare Bitcoin to Beanie Baby. She did. All right, we're going to draw 3 winners, $100 each. Once we announce you as the winner, we need you to put your Twitter handle at the exact handle, because we will DM you. If you don't, you're going to get people that impersonate you, and you're not going to get your $100, okay? So, the first winner, let's go ahead and draw it.
And we have a randomizer here. Basically, we put in there, for if you put a 1 or 2 in the chat, the chat will pick one out for you at random. So
you guys want to just give a little chance? 30-second, guys. Write something.
So 1 or a 2?
Doesn't matter. Whatever they say, just to be active. So
But is Nightbot pulling anything or just a specific word?
No. Anything.
Okay.
Anything, anybody that is
this
in the
one's
chat.
for anybody in the chat?
Anybody in the chat.
Okay, yeah. If you just say something, say hello,
Say hello,
we got
put something on the
Howtopia
chat,
here,
and we're going to use a Nightbot. It's going to pick Tap's winner. And it's going to show you in the chat. It's going to show the name of the winner, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, yeah.
So type something. We'll give you guys 2 minutes.
Type.
Oh, there's all those 1s and 2s again.
Doesn't matter. 1 and 2. Go for it. 1 and 2.
Y'all don't even know what the 1s and 2s mean anymore.
That's it.
1. What are we getting? A lot of Run. Robin is your least favorite co-host.
No. So earlier it was 1 if Bitcoin's going to break out above 100K and never return. 2 is if it'll trade under 100K at some point later this year. Earlier I was paying attention to this. There was a lot of 1s. So the general consensus is that I think a lot of people expect a breakout.
What have I said throughout this year? What have I said in private conversations and sometimes on the show? What have I've said? Q1 is going to be rocking
Usually
down.
Say
and
like
Q2 is
Mexican food makes your stomach bubbly.
Yeah, last night was not fun.
Keep typing.
No, but I've said I think Q2 is going to be an explosive quarter for crypto and Bitcoin. All right, Rocco, you want to draw the first one?
Yeah, we have 258 entries, and Nightbot is going to 260, and let's choose a winner.
There you go.
3, 2, 1. Let's go.
And you better be subscribed as well, otherwise you're automatically disqualified. Cincy Chicken, you won.
Cincy Chicken, you won it.
Where?
Yeah.
Cincy Chicken, it popped up real quick.
Sensei Chicken. Okay. Sensei Chicken, we need.
I've never seen Sensei Chicken up in here, so he's obviously new, or she.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah.
Sensei Chicken, we need your on X.
Yeah, so it's your X profile handle. Just put that in the chat, and then we know who to receive a DM from. Because the thing is if you don't give us your handle, we won't know, and it'll just someone else will try to impersonate you. All right, and then let's draw another one, Rocco.
All right, let's go. All right. We're going to re-roll a winner. Okay, waiting.
Alex Hernandez, you have won $100. So, Alex, do me a favor. Also, here in the chat, put your X handle, and then like that, we know who to expect a DM from.
Yeah, right here.
There's Alex. Yep. And
Make sure you subscribe, Alex.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you guys are subbed, okay? So,
and then we got one more. This one's going to be for ones and twos. So, if you could.
I need everybody also to, keep typing on the chat,
so
guys.
Cincy Chicken says it's just his handle, the Cincy Chicken. So that one's pretty simple.
Is it 1K?
And then we're waiting for Alex's X handle as well.
All right. Ready?
Yep, good.
Let's
Get
go.
The last one.
All right. Number 3.
DJG24_7. You've also won $100. We're doing stablecoin or Bitcoin? What are we giving?
USDT.
USDT, that is Tether. And so, for those of you that did not win today, look, we give away money all the damn time. So have your notification bell.
Pretty big day for the company. We signed a pretty good deal. We're excited to roll that out.
We got a new big sponsor coming around.
So we always like to give back to our community. We love you guys. We appreciate all of you. So,
but we'll give away more. Stay tuned for other streams.
So we got Sensei Chicken, Alex Hernandez, and DJ. We need your Twitter handles at your @. All right. What is your handle? And so
did you see Alex's handle? I didn't see it.
No, I didn't see it either. Alex and who's the other one? DJ?
Yeah, DJ.
Alex and DJ. I got the chicken one. Sensei Chicken. And then so we'll get the other ones. Anyways, guys, we'll see what comes out of the press conference. Again, that meeting is still happening behind closed doors. And so we're waiting to see. Wait to see what they talk about. Will it be no capital gains tax? Will it be the U.S. is adopting, we're looking into putting XYZ on the blockchain? Who knows? But it's an exciting time to be in crypto. We're going to make so much damn money.
You got Alex's handle there.
We did? Okay, will you note that for me, Rob? Will you copy paste it? Also, we had 100, not sure what kind of currency that is, but hi, Sir Dago. I sold all my trash coins for a big loss and stocked up on ADA, Sweet, AVAX, Near, and Dot. Wise move, or did I mess up?
If you said you sold trash, it's a smart move. There you go.
Yeah.
If you'd have sold trash for another trash, then okay, I got both the handles. We're good to go. So let's
good to go.
Tornado us out.
Okay. Wait, but first I got to give a big thank you to today's channel sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by CAMS Blue Wire Technology. You want to learn how CAMS can help your business scale and grow? Visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video, bluewiretech.com. So big thank you to them. And big thank you to all of you watching. Again, make sure you're subscribed. Have your notification bell on. No evening stream today. I got some personal family matters to deal with. Those of you that were watching last night know exactly what I'm talking about. But Monday through Friday, we do a PM stream where we focus strictly on technical and fundamental analysis. Also, we got a Cardano video coming out later today in about 30 minutes covering the massive partnership news coming out of Brazil and Cardano. With that being said, my friends, and Rocco, tornado out of here. Thank you all so much again. Have an absolutely amazing weekend. You're in the right place at the right time. You are going to make so much money. Let's make some money together. We love you guys. Have a great weekend.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. wellness. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.